special today?
Oh no, actually I don't like birthdays. So.
Oh.
This is
You're about to hear that? Okay. I was curious, I meant to ask you, I think you told me your brother told you about me.
Yeah.
Do you know how he found out about my teaching?
Probably you run in the newspaper.
Newspaper,
Yeah.
Huntersville.
Yeah, okay, that's how
Okay,
it
I thought maybe.
And actually, we still try to see how it worked out. His two daughters are, let's see, about fifth grade, and so 10 to 8 something. Yeah. But the problem is they go to school, you know, and we don't know how the schedule works now. This lady, this girl here, she's homeschooling.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Right, so she has a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. But you do have children after class, like after hours?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I teach Monday through Thursday after
Yeah.
school.
Oh, after school, yeah, okay. And another thing that we try to working out is basically my two nieces, they don't practice at all, you know, so I'm very frustrated. I know that it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So finally I come up with the idea that her teacher every day have to call her on the phone.
Oh.
and work at only half an hour to 15 minutes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now this teacher is in Vietnam and he's still called, but in Vietnam call here is very difficult, and there is a question about he may stay there, you know. So we are thinking, we may try to see. But I see that young student here, I'm very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize it, Moonlight Sonata,
Yeah.
and I know that it's just last month she played something Chopin that I can play, but Moonlight Sonata is for me like a step above, and it's for difficulty, like a step higher. Yeah.
Second movement, did you say?
Well,
Third
I say I heard that the third movement is harder, but basically it's like a step above of Chopin, and because it's easier, I think, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm very impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, and she
She's very gifted.
She focuses very well,
Yeah.
and she, you know, she watches and she picks up quickly, you know. But when she first came to me, she was very stiff, and she played pretty well, but it was not very musical. And she was very very frustrated all the time, and so I had to take her back a little bit, like I'm doing with you, and build some, you know, good habits into her hands. And then so now she can play much more fluidly, much more beautifully, and she knows that she likes it, so she's very motivated.
But I understand she studied the piano only a year or something, right?
Yeah, she
That's remarkable.
she caught on to music reading very quickly. But she's a bright girl anyway. And she's doing very difficult homeschooling subjects.
I see. Yeah. My philosophy is I am against homeschooling, you know, because I think that it's important that a child interact with others. But I know there are some very private, successful homeschooling, because I read like some Harvard accepted student, you know, a few of them are homeschooling.
Yeah.
I mean, many of them.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, in her case, her mother teaches sciences
Oh.
to a group of homeschoolers. So,
Oh, I see.
so Danielle, every Friday they meet with a
Oh,
group.
so they have that interaction too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she
well,
has friends, and
Yeah, that's
she's
best
not.
of the two worlds. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not isolated just
Yeah.
at home,
Okay.
which is good. I think they've got a pretty good balance.
Yeah.
But a lot of homeschoolers are doing groups now too, where
Oh, I see.
and
It's smart.
like her mother is good in physics and math, science, and then there may be another mother who's good in writing,
Oh, I see.
and they
Yeah.
they share a lot of knowledge between
I
them.
see.
And
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because when you talk about Horowitz, incorrectly, so to speak, and he's still a genius, make me
Yes.
think that we cannot really have a fixed idea that, okay, this is bad, this is good, And the
Right.
proof is that in that homeschooling, I always afraid that they didn't integrate well, but from what you say, they do. But in our situation though, we have an extra, because we are Vietnamese, so we have to pay attention a lot about interaction. Now, in an American kids, I think this lady, this student is half American, I
Yes,
presume, yeah.
and I'm not sure what country.
Yeah, she's probably Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
her
cancer,
husband,
but the
yeah.
Oriental, they know about 80%. I can tell, whether they are Vietnamese or Japanese or Chinese, but 80%, not 100%. Yeah.
Now, how about you?
We are Vietnamese. Yeah,
Vietnamese,
Vietnamese. Yeah. And my niece, I care very much about them to have a good music education. So that's why we still struggling about. I mean, not struggling, but deliberating to see. I tell my brother that I prefer this you for sure, but we are afraid that the practice will go down. But I'm hoping that maybe make the child like it, then they practice anyway. But for their age, yeah.
Right.
And actually, they are very proud. Yeah, of course, when they see your niece, you think that. But my niece, she's like a representing school for Davidson in back of the book, and she did very well. She read enormously, yeah. So yeah. But when you talk to her, your student about after you practice 5 years, you feel frustrated. Well, I did practice 5 years. 5 hours a day, and I feel so bad that how
I'm not getting better.
yeah. But then if I go like you say, I say, oh, at least I get 3 measure out of it. If I didn't, I feel even worse,
Exactly.
But because I practice limit the whole thing, but I practice only like a 3 to 4 measure, and I say at the end of the day, oh well, at least we get it. Usually 2 measure.
Yeah, especially the difficult places.
It's very hard, even hidden fingers.
Yeah. See, when I was even at Oberlin, I would be in the practice room. We were supposed to practice, 4 to 6 hours a day. And I did go to my practice room, but I would be playing fast, 2 hands together, over and over, but I wasn't fixing the problem.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of my practice, I was practicing bad habits. So I was getting worse. And I was so frustrated because when I would perform, I didn't have security. I was always like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what my fingers are going to do today, But when I went to Japan, in the Suzuki method, Dr. Kadoka would break everything down into basics, into steps. And as I said, I started with Twinkle, book 1, and I went through the books. And then I could apply the same principles to Chopin.
Oh.
And because this finger's way out here and I'm twisting. Or, you know what I'm saying? Technically, I could figure out what was wrong. And for a while, I even used a mirror. I discovered this when I was in the practice rooms. I don't know if you've ever seen them in a music school. You have a little room with a grand piano, just big enough for one person to practice. Well, I happened to go into a room that was a singer's practice room. And when you shut the door, like if the piano were right here like this, well, if I closed the door, there was a big mirror, because the singers have to look at their chin and posture and everything, so they would practice in front of a mirror. So I'm looking in the mirror and it's like, oh, I see what the problem is. My elbow was like this. I was watching myself, like, and you can do the same. You can maybe put a chair here, or if you have a wall, and put a full-length mirror, and you can glance over and look in the mirror as you're playing. Am I keeping my balance, or did I lose my balance?
Oh.
You know, is my elbow in here, or it should be out here? You know,
I see.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Actually, I didn't know that pianists use mirror. I know the dancer, in dance room there, also
Exactly,
mirror.
right. Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Well, that was just happened to me by accident, and then it was like, oh, I like this. So I started. In my case, I put a chair right there, and I put the mirror on the chair when I was first learning this technique, and then I could see what my arms looked like from the side, and it was the same view as in Japan. I would be watching my teacher from the side. I could see her posture, I could see all of this. So that was very helpful.
How big you recommend the mirror be?
You know, those kind that are like this.
Yeah. That's all we need?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And just, you know, you can prop it on a chair. You don't have to nail it into the wall.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a lot easier. That's what I have in mind. Yeah, I have a piano room. I can do whatever I want, but it's still a lot of trouble, to put mirror fixed. Yeah. At first we do that, and then we can. Yeah. Okay, I know what you talk about.
Yeah.
You can go to Walmart buy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, okay,
right.
yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, let's hear your Bach minuet. Do you have it memorized?
The first I memorized completely. The second part actually very hard. I practice a lot, and I get to about here something on the left hand. But let me play the right one first. Yeah.
Okay. Good posture. There you go. And you want to hear the 1, 2, 3, 1. That was right.
Yeah, but the first time, so it
Can we
didn't go
start
back.
here?
Yeah.
No, wait, let's don't go back to the beginning. How about it? That's okay. So,
Okay,